Welcome friends to another Dune video. Today we return to the Tleilaxu. Who rules them? How do the face dancers fit into this? And who do they consider a prophet of God? Spoilers for Heretics of Dune by Frank Herbert throughout. Let's get straight into it. On Tleilax there is a city, Bandalong. Waf rules there. He is the master of masters. His people have waited a millennia for this time. They had struggled like any others throughout the hard times of Leto II, who they consider a prophet of God. The Tleilaxu had built themselves up, patiently, after withdrawing during the Butlerian Jihad, after their secret was found out. More on that later. They had been preparing a long time, accepting submissions and humiliations, more added into a lie, a constructed front, the particular image the Tleilax wanted to present to the outer universe. All these pretenses had made this myth, how little the outer worlds knew, their patience, their slow wait for ascendancy. The council are called the Yagist, or the Council of the Unrule, and Waf thinks such effort have they put into the myth around them that even the Bene Gesserit have bought into it. And we all know how well informed they are, how able to read people they are, and how much effort the Bene Gesserit themselves put into manipulation. Waf recalls even he must submit upon coming back to his world, to abase himself and accept a ritual cleansing, to wash away his alien sins. Suspicion would come from the Kassadar, guards who policed all of the Tleilaxu, and Waf must prove himself again each time he returns, despite his highest of positions in their society. Waf and the Tleilaxu look strange to outsiders. The book paints this as eyes, hair and skin were shades of grey, all of a stage for the oval face with its tiny mouth and lines of sharp teeth, an elfin look. During their long wait they had made new face dancers. Only the supreme Tleilaxu had mastered genetics, the language of God as they called it. The prophet had made them ready. The God had bound them all, society together. These new face dancers were tools for that society. They have absorbed new abilities. They can, by touching the flesh of a victim, absorb some of their memories, take a print of them, the term is. This print can then be copied to another by touching foreheads, another face dancer, to explain that. There are similarities here with how the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mothers exchange the memories of those who have served the sisterhood before. As the book enlightens us on the face dancers, they, the face dancers, have only the instinct to preserve their own lives, unless ordered to die for their masters. By taking a print and being able to pass these around, they can better act in their own part, mimicking someone, and share these with others so those agents can do the same. And if we look at the passing of information side of things, they may also be able to learn something useful from the subject they have printed that could help the cause of the Tleilaxu. The face dancers can be either sex of their own choice. Also, these face dancers, as Lady Janet tells it to Miles Tegg, they have no self-image. Without a sense of self, they go beyond amorality. Nothing they say or do can be trusted. Miles shuddered. We have never been able to detect an ethical code in them, the Lady Janet said. They are flesh made into automata. Without self, they have nothing to esteem or even doubt. They are bred only to obey their masters. As a master himself, Waf can see if someone is a face dancer, even when they are mimicking someone else, so he can always know who is allied around him and who he may call upon for aid. They are good enough that they have infiltrated the Ixians, who have the technologies to maybe help them, and the honoured Martres. One of the Bene Gesserit guesses the Tleilaxu's ultimate plan during the course of Heretics of Dune. Ascendancy. The human universe must be made into a Tleilaxu universe. They could not hope to achieve such a goal without help from the scattering. Whether this means to conquer and rule or to only have them to exist at all is unclear. Waf speaks to the councillors he has summoned. Looking around them, they have, with the language of God, been able to continue their forms each time, giving them a fleshy continuity. So that council is always in charge, it's always those faces there. Because of this, through his dealings with muad'dib, Saitail, a more independently minded face dancer, had learned from him something. How the flesh could be renewed and the memories restored. They had condensed this power into a single government whose potency was confined, lest it be demanded everywhere. So my take there is that this council, the ability that they have learned to renew their bodies and basically granted themselves immortality, could be demanded elsewhere. With the Tleilaxu being so isolationist, I think this means referring to the other non-council people within the Tleilaxu who would also want this immortality granted for them, so they keep it a secret and don't share it. This knowledge came about through the use of a Duncan Idaho Gola, where his memories fully of his early life are restored. This happens when he goes to Paul. It's a Tleilaxu experiment that they do not know at the time if Duncan will kill Paul or will have his memories restored. They edge their bets either way, but it happens, and this is where the masters have learned to restore themselves from. Now there is some division even amongst the Tleilaxu about the descendants who left during the scattering. In their own way, now outsiders returning, they had changed accents, manners, and they performed the sacred rituals of the Tleilaxu strangely. Waf thinks they might have to be cleansed as he is, if that is even possible due to them being out in the larger universe, being contaminated for so long. But they had value as a source of information of those also out in the scattering, informants. Some of this had helped with the Duncan Idaho Golas. And though it is not explained explicitly, I think that information might be how Duncan resists the seduction of one of the Bene Gesserit later on, because the Tleilaxu that were out in the scattering maybe could have learned that from the Honoured Martyrs, how to resist it. That's just guesswork on my part, but it's a possible explanation. So, the question amongst all this information we've taken out during Heretics is, where are the Tleilaxu women? At the heart of the image they have fostered is something as dark as they are sometimes thought to be by outsiders. Within the axotl tanks are brain-dead women whose wombs are used to create the Golas. They have become the tanks. And so this is why no one has seen them. And this is a reflection of what the Tleilaxu had once been during the Butlerian Jihad, where slaves who had been freed from the machines were taken and used as organ reservoirs to keep their organ farms going. Now they do this to themselves. So now, friends, I turn this over to you. If you have anything to say or add, drop me a comment below.